Alright, hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I am the Twisted Jedi, and today we're going to be doing another hero concept. I know you guys have been waiting a little while for another one of these, so I thought I'd jump in when I had some extra time today and get another one done. Now today's concept is going to be a different character. It's probably someone we're not likely to see come to Battlefront 2, but it's still someone really cool and someone that I've always found interesting as a character, and that's going to be Mother Talzin. Now thank you to my man the Star Bazaar for suggesting this character. I didn't even think of her as one. I did have a hero concept from Jake, who does all of my concept artwork, on Mother Talzin, but I really didn't think I was going to end up doing it because Jake's descriptions for the abilities weren't lined up with the character. He actually had a different character's description in the ability slot. So I didn't think I was going to do it, but I went and did some research myself, and now I have some ideas for some abilities. Some skins, there's only really one, but then we've got some star cards and a couple of emotes at the end. So make sure you guys stick around to see all of that. But yeah, so she's a different character, not really someone we're probably likely to see in Battlefront 2, so this is more for just a little bit of fun, and I know you guys enjoy all of these videos that I do concepts on, so I figured I'd bust out another one today. Anyways, getting started with the skins is normally the first section I go into, but Mother Talzin kind of only has like one skin. We see her a lot in the Clone Wars, but she's only ever wearing the same thing, and from my best memory, we don't really see her in anything else. But if we do, and you guys know, make sure to drop it down in the comments below, but I'm pretty sure like 99% that she just wears the one outfit for the whole time. Now, in terms of playstyle, I'm kind of going to make her similar to Palpatine, but with a little bit of a difference. So don't worry, she's not going to be another bouncy Palps. We're not going to line her up like that. We're going to do it a little bit different, but we're going to refer to Palpatine a lot just because using her magic is going to be similar to Palpatine's lightning. So the magic that she uses for her main ability, like her base attack, is going to be a dark magic in the form of a green energy, and that's going to be like how she sort of does her damage. And it's going to work similar to Palpatine's lightning, but with thicker beams coming from her hand than the lightning, and then there's going to be a lesser lock-on than Palpatine's regular ability. Now with this lesser lock-on does come a little bit of extra damage, so obviously it's going to be harder to hit people. You're actually going to have to aim it, not like you Palpatine mains that just spam that lightning attack while you're jumping and it kind of locks on for you. This one, it's going to be beams shooting out of her hands of green energy, and you are going to actually have to aim it yourself. So something a little bit different to mix it up. I kind of like how that sounds. It would be really cool to actually aim that energy or that magic at your opponent. So I think that could be really fun, and it would take some skill to actually aim that. Now I've given her a little bit more damage. Like I said, she's going to have 150 damage per second with no bonus damage from behind or for a headshot. So again, you're going to have to aim it, but you're not going to have any bonus damage because that base damage is actually quite high. To put it in perspective, Palpatine is 120 per second, and he already wipes out enemies so quickly. So if you get 150 with Mother Talzin, you're going to not want that extra bit of damage and that extra lock on. So we're going to leave it as it is and kind of make it a little bit different to Palpatine. And I know that it does sound like it could potentially be a little bit OP, but keep in mind she has a slower dash speed / distance and jump height than Palpatine. So she's not going to be able to jump super high up in the air like Palpatine can, and she's only going to have a regular dash like the lightsaber users do, left to right, forwards and backwards. So she's not going to be able to spin and jump and get all around like Palpatine kind of does, which in my opinion is super frustrating to go up against. So I think leaving her with just like regular movements like the Saber heroes have, she's obviously not going to roll, but I think a dash would look really cool on her. Anyways, that's kind of the play style I see her as. Let's get into some of the abilities. The first one I am going to just call Sleep. Relatively simple. This is going to put the enemy out for 2 seconds, and it's going to have the ability to boost that with star cards later on, which I will mention in just a minute. But basically in the Clone Wars, you see her put people to sleep. She touches her finger on their head and they go to sleep and they're unconscious. The way I see it working in Battlefront 2 is a little bit different. I see her lunging forwards and touching someone on the head, and then they would fall asleep. So you've kind of got to adapt the ability for Battlefront 2. It needs to be a quick motion that's going to get you into where an enemy is, and then that you can basically wipe them out after that. So it's something you'd use more of in a one-on-one situation, or something that could be quite effective in heroes versus villains. So I think giving a lunge towards it where she touches their head and then they fall asleep, if you connect, it would be really effective. So that's kind of how I would adapt it into Battlefront 2, whereas in the Clone Wars, she's just kind of in front of them and she taps them on the head. The second ability is going to be called Torture, and we see her torture Count Dooku in the Clone Wars. This is kind of where I'm getting the ideas for these abilities from, and how it's going to work is she's going to curse the enemy and it's going to give them a stagger effect, so their movement is going to be a little bit sort of all over the place, half falling down type thing, and they're going to take damage over time. So this curse is going to do damage over a couple of seconds, maybe say 5 seconds as a base ability, and then perhaps you could make it last longer with star cards, but I think a damage over time would be really cool. It's kind of like she's torturing them from the background. So once you lock this onto a target and you activate it, it's kind of going to torture them for a little while. And then even if you move away or they move away, they're still going to be taking damage. So I think that's a pretty cool idea coming straight from the Clone Wars and what we've seen her do before. Now the third and final ability is going to be her middle ability. So left and right bumpers on your controller, and then whatever your middle ability button is on PC, for those of you PC gamers out there, and it is going to be called Vanish. This is where Mother Talzin disappears into the spirit world and becomes basically a green smoke or a green smog, where she goes almost invisible except for a little bit of green smoke, and this is going to make her hardly visible for 4 seconds. She can't attack during this time when she's invisible, but it's more of used like an escape mechanism so that she can get out of danger, or she can get in behind enemies to get to an objective or something like that. She could pretty much be almost invisible. Maybe take out the green smoke, but I think you'd need some kind of small remnant that she's around. Maybe she could stay on the minimap or something like that when she's using this ability. I think that would be really cool, and we can boost it again the time that it lasts with star cards, and then you can deactivate it manually if you want to sort of come out and attack someone from your invisibility, or I guess your lesser view sight, which would be cool as well. You could use it for some really good flanks. Getting around behind enemies and attacking them once you become visible again would be extremely satisfying to do on the Battlefront. So those are the 3 abilities. Let me know what you guys think, and if you have any other ideas for other abilities that she could have, drop them down in the comments below. Getting into star cards though, health on kill is always essential. That's going to be the first one. The next one is going to be a bonus health regeneration with lower movement speed than Palpatine and a lesser jump. She's going to be in close quarters a lot of the time, so she's going to need a little bit more health regen. The third card is going to be extended range on her base attack. This one's going to be working exactly the same as the extended range for Palpatine's lightning, so basically just gives you the ability to hit enemies from further away. The next card is going to be that stamina takes longer to drain when using her base attack. I think this is something that energy wielders or like someone that uses lightning or dark magic should be able to do, because you're going to need that to last a little bit longer if you're going up against saber heroes. The next star card is for sleep, and it can last longer times when in effect. So basically 1 extra second per star card level, up to 5 seconds at the epic level of the star card. I think that would be really cool to increase that time and could be really effective in heroes versus villains. The next one is increased damage per second with the torture ability. So I said before that's going to take damage over time. I think an increased damage, not by too much, but just boosting it up a little bit, will give you that extra bit of damage when using torture on an enemy. And the last idea I had for another star card is going to be that Vanish can last longer, 2 extra seconds with each star card level. You can go from having it at like 3 or 4 seconds at base to kind of 10 seconds at the end. This ability has the potential to be OP, but I think the fact that I'm not allowing you to attack when you're invisible makes it okay. So this ability can last 10 seconds, but then it's going to be more used as an escape mechanism as opposed to something where you can attack enemies during that time. So I think that kind of balances it out a little bit and makes it seem more legible on the Battlefront. So there are all the star cards I had ideas for. Obviously there's a million possibilities that I could have done there, but I think they're really good and reflect the abilities quite well, and making some similar references to Palpatine as well is always a good way to go, because it's kind of a similar playstyle that they're going to have. But finally, the emotes, I really only came up with 2, and this is kind of from just researching some scenes from the Clone Wars. One of them is, "Your power is no match for my magic." She says this to Mace Windu in the Clone Wars when they go up against each other. And the second one is, "You should be more careful when making deals with witches." She says this about Count Dooku, but I just kind of adapted it to suit Battlefront 2. So I think there'd be some really cool emotes as well. I can imagine standing over someone's dead body and making that emote on top of them. So that's pretty much all the stuff I came up with for Mother Talzin. She's kind of a different character. She's really interesting, and we see her a bit in the Clone Wars, but I think she would be really cool in Battlefront 2. Not that I think she's going to be added. I think she's like way down the bottom of the list of characters in terms of people that they're going to develop or characters that they'll look to develop for the game. But nonetheless, this was just a little bit of fun to research and look up and kind of get some ideas for, and maybe throw out some ability ideas and stuff like that. So thank you again to my man, the Star Bazaar, for suggesting Mother Talzin. It was a really fun one to research, and I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you guys like these videos, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more concepts in the future. I will be getting out a lot more of them in the coming weeks, so make sure you guys stay tuned and tick that notification bell so that you can be alerted as soon as I upload the video. Anyways, for now, I am going to get out of here. I appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, leave a big thumbs up if you did, and I will catch you guys later. I am the Twisted Jedi, and may the Force be with you always.
The Sith are all powerful. much for